Welcome to Speaking Holistically, the podcast that explores the power of alternative medicine, natural healing, and homeopathic solutions to help you achieve true wellness. Each week, Dr. Jen and Amy G dive into the world of holistic health, discussing researched, time-tested remedies with expert insights from Dr. Jen, as well as real-life stories from patients to empower you to take charge of your health. So if you're ready to embrace a more natural path to wellness, let's start speaking holistically, because true healing begins from within. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Speaking Holistically. I'm your co-host, Amy G. I'm here with my magical co-host, Dr. Jen. And I'm particularly excited today because we have Tales from the Office. And this is a new podcast category we're going to be adding, and I'm super excited about it because I love hearing these stories. This is my first time hearing anything that you're about to say, so I have no idea what you're about to talk about, which is great. So I'm going to be listening to or hearing it for the first time with all the listeners. So what's your most recent tale from the office?
So of course, having patients come in every week, there's always something fun. And I joke with my patients all the time. I feel like if we're going to have a good relationship, we have to just be ourselves. And so there's a lot of physicians that are very dry. They're there to do what they need to do, write a prescription, have them walk out, call it a day. And I absolutely, in fact, our entire office absolutely loves our patients. We pride ourselves on connecting with patients and having a relationship as opposed to it just being a number. And we truly, truly, truly listen. So I tell these stories not because I'm like, oh, look at us, we're amazing. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with really encouraging people out there to not stop looking for an answer. And so that's what these stories are going to be about. Sometimes I'll tell some little funny stories in there, and probably some of them are not very politically correct. But it's all good with patients. And the patients that come into our office either like us or they don't. There's nothing in between. It's not like, oh, they were okay, So basically I had a patient this week. She actually started off as a telehealth patient. I talked to her once, and we were trying to find a chiropractor where she lives, which is great. Chiropractic can work really well for this, but she was on some time constraints. She was leaving the country and doing some things. So I encouraged her to come up and get adjusted by me. And so she did. She made the plane arrangements, flew up, I guess, Tuesday morning. I took her over Tuesday night and again Wednesday morning. And then her flight was at noon on Wednesday. So she spent one night here, which is what quite a few patients will do. They'll come in for 1 or 2 nights, just depending on what's going on with their situation. So sure. For her, she's a 39-year-old woman who has urinary urgency. So she doesn't have any UTIs. She's not having anything else significantly going on. Her labs look totally perfect, but she literally has to pee 10 times in her shift at work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. She tries to exercise and she wets her pants. And there's a lot of women out there, and some men as well, but they have urinary incontinence for sure. Now you can tell them to kegel all they want, do this, do that. There's a lot that can go on, and that can be absolutely helpful. But what we're talking about is neurologically how important it is to have your body functioning appropriately. So she told me she tries to exercise, and sometimes with every step, there's a little bit of urination and it's horrible. I mean, she's 39. Can you imagine when she's 80 or 90? It's not going to be great. So she also, when she goes to wash her hands, let's say she's just peed, she goes to wash her hands, the water comes on, she suddenly has to pee again.
Oh,
so
God.
Gets zero break. Every single gas station she passes, she's like, do I have to stop? And I as she's driving, and 39, I mean, any age that's gonna definitely impact your life for sure. Yeah. So anyway, so she came in, very sweet person. And we adjusted her. And so what I want to explain is neurologically, so chiropractors work with the nerves, obviously, but we adjusted the L1, L2 area, which the nerves that come out of the spine at that area, which is at the change in the curvature from the main portion of the back that goes like this to that other lordosis, that other curve that goes into your low back and into your rear end. So the L1, L2 is at that change of the curvature, which a lot of people tend to not sit straight up. They will kind of slouch and their back will go into a C shape, and that doesn't help push it doesn't help to keep that in place. So that the posture is a huge thing, but also getting the problem fixed. Anyway, did all of my orthopedic testing, neurological testing that we do at the office, and adjusted her appropriately, adjusted that L1, L2, it exploded. And I don't mean that like it actually exploded, it didn't. But it moved into, I mean, it moved so far. It had been out for God knows how long.
Wow.
So we adjusted that and adjusted her sacrum, which the sacral plexus, which is the network of nerves that come out of basically the pelvis, that innervates into the bladder area as well. So both of those areas definitely needed to be adjusted. So we adjusted those and everything else that we could find, ribs, ears, the whole 9 yards, whatever needed to be adjusted. We don't adjust things that aren't out of alignment, but we will find everything that is, as you well know.
That's my favorite thing about you. It's the best.
So we adjusted her, and I told her to take a little walk through the office. You go up and down, which I always call it the walk of shame. So, they have to go walk and see how everything feels and get those muscles to integrate and stuff, because I want to see, I adjust deeply enough that things are not just going to pop out with somebody moving. So she walked and I said, how's everything feel? She goes, I think pretty good. And I'm like, okay. So we did some more things during the office visit with her that we will generally do with patients. And then I told her, okay, I want you to try to go to the bathroom. And she's like, I don't know if I have to. I'm like, that's okay. You don't have to. I want you to try and see how that all feels. So she went back there and she came back and I said, how'd it go? And she said, there wasn't any urgency. Like, I didn't feel like I had to go. I was kind of like, I had to sort of force myself. And I was like, okay, good. Let's just see how this goes. So I sent her off to a place, about 45 minutes here, that's on the river. It has some pretty decent food. And so she drove out there, and it's a 45-minute drive probably. She said that every gas station, she was like, do I have to go? Do I have to go? And she didn't feel any urgency to go. And she was like, I cannot believe this. So Then to truly test it, she sat by the river just
I was wondering if she would.
So she sat by the river and she said, I didn't have any need to go to the bathroom. And I was like, this is awesome.
That's amazing.
So yeah, she's flying out of the country next week, and it's a very long flight where she's going. And I'm thinking, I would hate to have to go to that airplane bathroom 72 times on that flight.
Oh God, yeah. You want to just avoid it at all if you can.
Right?
Who wants to go in there? Yeah.
Well, and it's not just the urgency. It's also the fact that she can't even drink water, because if she drinks any water, it goes basically right through her. And so then she doesn't stay hydrated. It's not going to help her brain. Water is so important for detoxification, for everything. Yeah. So she really struggles to drink water. Like, I handed her a bottle of water and she literally backed up and looked fearful of the water, because she knows what she's going to feel like if she drinks water. So,
oh gosh.
Anyway, yeah. So she came in the next morning and told me all of that, and she was so excited and she felt great. And normally she's up 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night peeing, which those of us who've had to get up in the middle of the night, especially with pregnancy or whatever it is, it's like, oh, am I ever going to go back to sleep? So she literally said she got up twice instead of the 4 or 5 times. And I said, well, that's perfect after one adjustment. That's what we're looking for. So we adjusted her again. There was a little bit still out in that area. It had slid out just a little bit, but it was probably 20% of what it was the day before. And so really, that's why I do it back to back, to try to really encourage the body to be like, nope, we're not doing this.
You've done back to back with me many, many times.
Yeah. If we have to, every chiropractor is a little bit different. I generally don't see people 3 times a week for 6 weeks. I always tell people I like you, I just don't like you that much. So you have better things to do with your time, and I adjust extremely deep. So some people don't like that. They'd rather go in a few times and do it a little bit lighter in little increments, or however they're going to do it. And, there's over 200 different chiropractic techniques. So we're definitely not all the same, and different techniques require different things, different bodies require different things, and different chiropractors handle their practice differently. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, that's how I practice. So she got adjusted the next day, and there was barely anything. Most of the adjustments completely held, and even after sleeping on a hotel bed and flying, and all of the stuff that she had done the day before. So it was awesome. So it's not always about the pain. People come in because the pain is a motivating factor, but it's really about the function. So if we can make sure that those nerves are communicating from the brain out to those organs, then, it will optimize their life, and it helps them function optimally, which whatever that is for each individual, you know.
Right.
So yeah, but that was really, it was awesome. And this is the stuff I get to see every day. And of course, there's chiropractors out there that are way better at putting their stuff on social media than I am. I think later I'm like, oh, I should have recorded that, or I should have, because it's so exciting and it's so fun, but it's like something I get to do every day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What a gift. What a gift for you to be able to do it and witness that, but what a gift more so for your patients, because you do change their life. I mean, look, what an inconvenience, first of all, to have to deal with that. I
That's an inconvenience. That would be, I mean, to me, I can't even imagine what that would feel like. I'm on a plane flight for 2 hours and I'm like, I don't want to use the bathroom. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and
Like,
that's funny because that, I mean, that you bring that up because that's a whole nother issue. There's the inconvenience, but there's the anxiety. And that is, I mean, who wants that? Who wants more anxiety in their life because their body's not functioning right? It's a multifaceted problem for this, poor woman. So I think that's amazing. Amazing. See, and a lot, it's funny. A lot of people probably would interpret that as, oh, I guess that's just what happens at this stage of my life, or, right? Like people have that dialogue. They tell themselves that this is normal.
well, and some of them don't tell themselves that. Like I can't tell you how many patients come to me and say, well, my doctor just says it's age, I'm getting older. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't buy that at all. At all. I don't care how old you are. You don't your body doesn't just stop functioning optimally. Like there's things that you can do. So for especially the women out there who are running or trying to run and wetting their pants, or having to run into a bush and having a bowel movement because they can't control it. I
My
mean, this is
God.
all the stuff I've seen in my office. And there are days that I wake up and I'm like, oh man, my body hurts. And I'm thinking, you know what? No matter what is going on right now, it is nothing compared to some of these people who will never say anything because they've been told that, well, it's just your age or you're just going to have to get used to it.
And that's
So,
it, right? That's the messaging they're getting. So that's what they believe it to be true. And it's not. So I love that you're helping people realize not only is it not true, but we can change this for you. And
finding the
it's,
right physician who will listen to you, first of all, but also, like I said, there's over 200 different chiropractic techniques. So you don't have to, like, what works for one person may not work for another person. That's why we have different chiropractors in our office that do different techniques and similar techniques, so that everybody gets kind of a little bit larger type of care.
yeah.
And so there's a lot of people who are say, oh, I've been to a chiropractor forever or whatever. And it's like, they'll come in to see me and they're like, oh my gosh, I've never had that done. And I'm like, okay, like you said, you were adjusted. They're like, well, they've never adjusted my neck. And I'm like, wait, what? So, but that's my reality. It's not that that chiropractor was terrible. It's just that it might have not been the right technique for yourself. I've been adjusted since I was 2 days old. So I've been adjusted by many, many, many chiropractors that are great. And some of the techniques were awesome for me and other techniques were not so awesome for me. I didn't get much out of it.
Yeah.
So it really is about finding the right person for your body and making sure that they're going to listen to you, not like, oh, it's just muscle. Like if you still have something going on over and over and over, and it could be some muscle. I mean, there's times where I have patients, I'm like, give it 24 hours and see if it calms down after we've done the adjustments, and take some good CalMag to calm those muscles down a little bit more, because magnesium and calcium are great natural muscle relaxants, and it does increase the pain threshold so you don't perceive it as quickly either. So technically kind of like a painkiller, but not, and no horrible side effects, right?
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in a supplement spotlight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. So, but that's what I'm talking about, is like finding the combination that works for each individual person. So, but for this woman, I mean, so far she was thrilled, and it was absolutely life changing. I told her, we'll find you a good chiropractor where you live and see if we can, so that she knows what it feels like now and how it's supposed to function,
Yeah.
so that she can find somebody who does maybe something similar, because her body responded so well to it.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that office tale.
I know. I have so many.
Of course you do.
Oh my gosh, I could be on here every day. I actually sometimes want to just film my patients. I'm like, you're gonna get a good, like, it's kind of funny. So some of them are hysterical. Some people just make me laugh the whole time, and some of them are very particular and uptight, and other people are very irreverent, and it's just the whole thing. It just makes my day. So.
Well, I love that. And I am looking forward to hearing more of these office tales. I'm actually envious that you get to have these transformational moments with your patients, but I get to live vicariously through you, and we all do, right? All of our audience gets to as well by hearing them. So thank you for sharing them with us. And thanks everybody for listening. Join our school community if you haven't before. I'll put the link in the show notes. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or subscribe to our YouTube channels. Thanks everybody for listening. Until next time, bye-bye. That wraps up another episode of Speaking Holistically. Thank you for listening. We hope today's conversation gave you new insights and inspiration to take charge of your health. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, be sure and join the Speaking Holistically school community by clicking the link in the show notes. There, you'll get access to daily podcast episodes, weekly live Q&As, educational content, and so much more. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, be well, stay curious, and keep speaking holistically.